There was a time where I almost gave up YouTube. It was a pretty dark time in my life, and I was off YouTube for a while and figured, like, in some ways I didn't think anyone would care if I didn't come back. I was like, no one really wants to hear what I gotta say. Some people in the comments now might be, people still don't want to hear what you have to say. But yeah, you know, it's like you look at someone who has had a moderate amount of success, such as I, on this platform, and you think that must have been such a fun, easy thing. He must have been dedicated the whole way. I almost knocked over my camera just now. But it's like, nah, there was a period where I was like, maybe I'll just never go back to it. There's a few times where I almost didn't go back to it. And believe it or not, there are even times occasionally now where it's like, is this worth it? And of course the answer is yes, duh. It's, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like sometimes stuff gets to you. Sometimes life gets to you. And it makes you think, if something was just different now, if things were just changed around a bit, it would be better. And what I'm doing now isn't the ideal. And maybe I could find the ideal thing doing something else. But the thing is, what that really is like grass is greener kind of thinking. You can do it in any area of life. And whenever you get into a situation, it'll have its ups and downs, and certainly some situations are not good overall. But even in the best, most ideal things, like having a great job that you love to do, you'll occasionally have moments where you're like, this is not the ideal, because life isn't ideal. And then the other side of that is there are times where you just want to quit. It's almost like you don't even think the grass is greener somewhere else. You're just like, I'm done with this. I'm getting too old for this S. Or maybe not too old, but just too run down, too tired, too, like you just don't want to deal with the same aggravations over and over again. But the thing is that life will always have those rough patches or those elements that will always give you some difficulty. And like when I wanted to quit a couple of years ago, if I had done that, my life, like, that would have been a terrible decision. But in the moment, it was like I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see beyond. It was like I was down, and I felt like I was going to have to crawl with all my might just to get out of it. And there have been so many times where I've told myself, I'm done. I even looked at like a journal entry I wrote a couple years ago when I was at that low point. And I wrote the words, or this isn't going to be exact, but I wrote something like, I'm done, like my YouTube channel is dead, it's finished. And my channel has like more than 100 times the amount of subscribers it had then. Wait, is that true? No, 10 times the amount. Yes, 100 times would be like in the millions. Yeah, but it's like grown exponentially since then. It went from being something that was just kind of a job, not even a job, but a little gig on the side, to being something that's my job. And I point this out to show you that a lot of times we want to give up in many areas of life, and success is oftentimes beyond the point. Well, it's always beyond the point of wanting to give up. You get down, you can't see it, and you just keep going. I think that's what it is that the people who succeed are just the people who keep going. And it's statistically the people who stop, 0% of the time can they succeed. But the people who keep going, at least they have a shot. Success is somewhere in front of them. And while this is a thoughtful Thursday video, let's stop momentarily and see if YouTube will show a commercial. I appreciate you sitting through that. So maybe there's something in your life where you're ready to give up. You think you're done. You think you're finished. You think you've hit the bottom. And you're just ready to throw in the towel with whatever it is, whatever your vision is for your future, with that, whatever you love to do. Or you feel scared to try the next step, to move on with it. And so much of that crap is just in our minds. All that stuff I was telling myself, oh, I should quit, my channel's done, was not reality. That was just all in my mind, a fabrication. So much stuff. I'm talking to a lot of people, and happened to be hearing about a lot of their, kind of insecurities, you might say, the things that are holding them back in life, their dreams that they want to achieve, but they can't move forward. And it always comes back to the same thing. It's like there's something that's sort of real, but then their mind blows it out of proportion, and that's the thing they get stuck on. We all feel fear and don't want to take huge risks, and fear is to a degree something real, but then our mind says it's really, really real, whereas it's just sort of like a caution, like stop for a second, think about it, okay, then go. People who have so much talent and potential hold themselves back, which is what I did for so many years and what I almost did fatally to my YouTube channel. And I think at a certain point I was just like, I have to keep going just as an experiment to see if it will go anywhere, So maybe that's how you could view life. It's a big experiment. See what you can get out of it. It just like really kills me, so many people that if I was just controlling their life, I could tell them what to do. And it's the same with other people in my life. But when you're controlling your own life, then the risks, especially when it comes to what will people, think of me, and what will happen to, if things go wrong, what will happen to my life, which are legitimate. I'm not saying take stupid risks, but so much of it is made up. I think something I've realized is that almost all self-help stuff just comes back to this one thing. Everything is made up. Everything, like the people who succeed in life just realize it. Just one day you get it. Maybe that's what everything is. Enlightening, awakening, becoming your best self is just realizing most everything is fake. All the stuff in our head, everything that holds us back, everything that we tell ourselves is a reason for not doing what we want to do. It's all fake. It's all made up. It's all an illusion. It's a startling thing. But it's easy to realize that and then go back to your own life and be like, nah, I'm not going to move forward. Yeah, I know it's not real. I know the fear is out of proportion, but it's actually really real. I'm feeling it. So this last weekend, I went up in the mountains with my boys, and we went to a scenic overlook. I'll show some pictures here. And you see there's a wall there. Oh wall, oh sweet, oh lovely wall. I'm standing behind the wall looking at the scenery. I felt a little nervous. Like heights bothered me a little bit, but I was okay. But then we went down a little further where there wasn't a wall, where there was a drop off, and if you slipped, you would have to kind of intentionally go to the edge and be reckless and fall off. But we went down there and I was standing like 20 feet away from the edge, but I still felt afraid. And some of the other guys were going closer to the edge, and I was like, they're gonna fall. I gotta be the dad here to be like, okay guys, get away from that. Get away from the edge, please. Someone's gotta stand up and tell you the safe thing to do. But no one was in any real danger. Yes, there was some danger. Some of the fear I was feeling was legitimate, because it's like you don't wanna fall to your death, right? But on the other hand, the actual percentage chance of any of us falling, because of, it wasn't very steep, you'd really have to be trying. It was minuscule. The risk was actually very small. So I had the inclination to turn around and leave, and just because I was like, I'll let them do their thing, but I can't look at this anymore. I can't stand by while we risk our lives. But then I was like, I realized, no, this is fake. This is not something real. There is an element of reality to it, but this fear that's driving me to want to turn away is ultimately blown out of proportion by my mind. So I forced myself to just stay there, and I focused on that feeling of fear, and I focused on that unpleasant, jittery feeling of anxiety in my chest. And I was like, I'm just going to stand here and I'm going to deal with it. So I think it's good in your life to realize the things that are and are not real. What's holding you back? It's probably a lot of stuff, and it probably feels super real. But a phrase I've become fond of is feelings aren't facts. Like your brain sends you a lot of feelings that seem to be telling you something, but they're not necessarily telling you anything. And just because you think something doesn't mean that it is true. That's my long drawn out thought for today. Tune in tomorrow for a funny video.